Hello, and welcome to today's segment of financial strategies, creating generational wealth. We'll be discussing staying out of debt. I'm your presenter, Leah Everly. I am a South Carolina Notary Public commissioned since September 2024 and a life insurance producer. Agenda will discuss who I am, why I do what I do, what is debt, track spending habits, budgeting, managing finances, balancing self control and discipline, and then offering questions and answers at the end.
So, who am I? Well, I am a mother. I am I have a significant other. I have two beautiful children, well, grown women who are in their 20s, and they've given me four grandchildren. But in a career sense, I am also a full time imaging radiographer. I specialize in computerized tomography, aka CAT scans or CT. I entered the field of healthcare when I was 19 years old, so I have been doing it for a very long time, about 23 years. Over the time, being in healthcare, and if you are familiar with healthcare, you would understand and relate to this, but it does a lot to your body, a lot of wear and tear. So there was a point in time when I decided I wanted to do something different. I don't want to retire out of healthcare. I want to be well when I'm in my 60s, but I want to retire when I'm younger in age so that I can still enjoy life. And I want to enjoy my kids and my grandkids. So I decided to kind of do some research and look into other ways to making my money. And aside from investing in real estate, I decided to become a notary public back in September of 2024. About a month later, I was introduced to life insurance, and I thought that would be a great way to integrate life insurance and notary to have a way to educate my community on estate planning, teach them some financial literacy that I had gained knowledge of through intense studying and research, and trial and error in life in general as well. So that is my journey, and that is what led us here today. Why I do what I do? Well, my family. I love my family. You have a few pictures here where I'm missing my oldest daughter and my two grandsons, but have here my significant other, and then my sister, my youngest daughter, and my two granddaughters. But I do this for my family, and I do this for your family.
So, what is debt? It is defined as being a financial responsibility that involves a creditor, principal, which is the amount of the debt, and interest that's applied to the debt. Now, there is a such thing as having good debt versus bad debt. Good debt is anything that will basically help you grow an asset. A mortgage that's related to a primary home or investment property. That is good debt. What you spent on that property in 1 year over time will grow. The amount or the value of that property will grow while the debt decreases. So ultimately, we look at that as being an asset, and because it's increasing your net worth. Bad debt would be anything that decreases your net worth, so to speak, student loans, credit cards, or personal loans. Anything that depreciates your value is considered bad debt. So, is it okay to have good debt? Yes. Ultimately, you want a certain amount of good debt because it helps to grow your credit score. Having, let's say, maybe 5 or 6 reported accounts within the credit bureaus will actually increase your credit score. So having good debt is a good thing. Do you want to have an excessive amount of good debt? No, you want to have a controlled number. Again, around 6. So when you get to the threshold of having like 10 and more than that, then we have a problem. Bad debt is what it is. It's just bad debt. You don't want any if you can help it. So, with this particular segment, we're talking about staying out of debt. And in this case, bad debt, okay? Now, every corporation in America has some form of debt. All major corporations have fallen into bankruptcy due to that debt. So keep in mind, even here, even the United States is considered a corporate entity. Hence the reason why we have what they call the deficit. This is a debt that America literally owes another country. So let's just keep in mind that you don't want to necessarily fall into that pattern of having to file bankruptcy or having to consolidate your debts. But once you have reduced your debts, you've gotten yourself out of it, the focus is not to go back into it, staying out of debt. And the best way to do that is to understand what debt is and where it came from, and that way you know how to avoid it. So, the first thing is track your spending habits. When you want to track your spending habits, you want to start off with having like 3 months of your banking account statements pulled up. And so, what that does is it helps you collect all of what you've been spending over the last 90 days. The next thing you want to do is you want to go through that with a journal, pencil, and a highlighter, and you want to start recording and categorizing all the items on the statements using your pencil and a highlighter within a journal. And the journal is important so that you can continue to kind of track how things are going. So when you categorize it, look at things like how often are you going to the gas station, going out to eat? What is this that's a necessity? What is this that's considered a want? How much of this is going into a savings? And then go through and look at the things you don't need and circle that item, because the goal is to reduce unnecessary spending. And once you do that and you see what it is that you've done, now you can remove that from your budget. Budgeting and managing finances. So, what is budgeting? It's an important financial strategy to staying free of debt. After tracking your spending habits and removing all those frivolous items, you want to set aside a specific amount of money that's needed for your necessities, then your wants, and your needs, or your wants and your savings. So, you want to set up a budget based on those things and also your income and your outcome. Um, The 50-40-10 rule is a tool, a financial tool or strategy that I personally enjoy using and I encourage everyone to use. In my opinion, it works wonders on helping you learn how to manage your finances. And it also helps you on budgeting. It's like it's twofold, because the first part of the 50-40-10 rule is the way you want to focus how you spend it. So 50% goes towards necessities, 40% towards your savings, 10% towards your wants. Then the other part of the 50-40-10 rule is how you're managing it. And that's usually the hardest part for a lot of people. For me, I have found it easier to manage it with three different checking accounts. So, or separate accounts in general. So, I have a checking account that literally gets 50% of my paycheck every 2 weeks that I allocated towards with my direct deposits. So 50% goes towards a specific checking account, and that checking account is solely for paying all my necessities, my bills. Then I have 40% that goes towards savings. Now, out of that 40%, I have 12% going towards my 401k that I contribute. The other percentage I have going towards my personal savings that eventually gets transferred to brokerage accounts. And then my 10% goes towards another checking account specifically for my wants and my desires. So it sounds like a lot, and for a lot of people it might be. But if you are not good at focusing on one account and seeing all the differences that you're doing from 50 to 40 to 10%, then I strongly suggest that you separate it out completely so that you can have more control. It'll benefit you in the long run. It might seem complicated at first, but once you get into the practice of doing it, it's real easy to manage. It's not your salary that makes you rich, it's your spending habits. Think about that for a second. If you have a salary of 60 to 80,000 a year and you're living a lifestyle as though you make half of your salary, then it means you're consciously aware of your spending and you're putting money aside so that you can have the lifestyle that you want. You might be that kind of person that wants to enjoy lots of vacations. You may put all your money into your home so that you can come home and relax, or whatever the case may be. But your being rich is not based on your salary. It truly is based on how well you are saving and not overspending, which is your spending habits. Balancing self control and discipline. Again, using that 50-40-10 rule will help aid in learning your self control and discipline. Practicing self control, you can do this by pausing before you make a purchase. So, you find yourself in that situation where you want to do this, you want to do that, you want to make this purchase, or whatever the case may be. Pause, take a minute, say, is this a need or a want? And then once you've made that determination, go check your accounts. See which one, how much money you got in your account that supports your need. How much do you have in the account that supports your want? And if you don't have enough money, then obviously this is not a purchase that you can make at that time. But if you have some that you can work with and you realize, oh, I got some things coming up, but I still got some money, I can get this need, I can get this one, then by all means. But this is a wonderful way for you to show discipline, and it's a wonderful way for you to show some self-control because you're taking a pause. Um, and doing this is a development of learned behavior. Repeating the action of self-control does help manifest what we call a call to action, and that call to action is discipline. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments. You just can't get no plainer than that. Without that discipline, you're not going to be able to accomplish those goals that you have set for yourself. Maybe you will at some point in time, but if you wanted to get there by this year, by the end of this year, well, it's going to require some discipline. Any athlete that wants to have that gold medal or be considered the best in that particular sport has to continuously show discipline and control in order to make it to that point where they are the best. So we have to think that way. We have to be the same with our money. It's not, you know, um, it's not always easy, but in the end, it's very rewarding. This is the time for questions and answers. Please feel free to send me a email with your questions or shoot me a text. If you want to send, have us have a phone call, we can do that too. Just like a one-on-one. If there's anything on this presentation that you probably didn't get enough clarity on, or you have some more questions you need more elaboration about, or you just want to maybe touch on another topic or whatever the case may be, please feel free to contact me. I'm always open for discussion. So here's your invitation. If you would like more information or you need some one-on-one with me, here's my information. I also have an office in Columbia. If you want to send me an email, my email address is ashley@ever81.rgs@gmail.com. My phone number is 839-246-4986. I do life insurance on all types, notarial services of all types. I specialize with estate planning, and I do have a partner that's an national estate lawyer. So, if at any point in time you guys need any further assistance, please reach out to me. I am very open to any conversations. I love to help people better understand what it is that they need to help them get to their goal. So, thank you for your time. I hope this served you well, and have a blessed day.